Hello guys, how are you doing? Yeah, so let me give you a quick one, okay? So everyone talks about the side of their dads that they don't care about, you know, about them, but no one talks about the mom's side, where your mom's comes from, where those brothers and their sisters, the sisters to your mom and the brothers to your mom, they smile at you, they smile, they hug you, but behind your back, it's totally different. Totally different. It's the other way around. They are hugging you, they're smiling at you, they're laughing with you, they're giving you food, but let me tell you, the other side is we know, most of us can attest that, oh, my dad's side doesn't give a about us, But what about the mom's side? Do they really care? Do they want to bring you down? Do they? Let me give you a quick one. When I've cleared my class 8 in 2010, yeah, when I cleared class 8, I was, I was going to a day school and then reporting back to the orphanage, okay? So the director sponsored me to go to that day school because it was near, and it's not like I had those big huge marks. It was just 316, and he was having difficulties with paying the school fees for all the people who had cleared class 8, and the other kids still behind us, as we are the pioneers of that orphanage. And then there were still others behind, and now as we are going to high school, and that is the part where, like, the whole thing was shaken, the whole organization was shaken, because there were no much contributors and everything. And so I think he must have gone emotional or anything or something, and it was a huge task, to take care of those kids, and others are still coming, and that others were still very little. I remember the kid who was the youngest was brought when he was like 3 or 4 months. So you can imagine it was a huge task, and now he didn't have like a lot of sponsors. Okay, so it was kinda hectic for anyone. So that time when I started seeing all these possibilities of lacking fees, and we are being chased from the day school and then reporting back to the orphanage, and he's not doing anything, I called my friend who was the mzungu, and I told her my situation. I explained to her, I kept your number. We had not talked for like a year. Okay, so I told her, like, I'm having difficulties with the school fees, and now I'm not able to raise money for school, and I think I'm almost dropping out. So she asked me, she told me she gonna see what she can do, and then she organized with some teacher, and then she asked me if I would like to go to a boarding school or a day school, of which I said it was a day school. Before that, when I cleared class 8, there was these books that you are supposed to go with for Form 1 secondary school: the dictionary, the kamusi, the atlas, the calculator, all those requirements. Okay, and I remember my aunt from my uncle, the eldest to my mom. So he's married, and he has a daughter, and this daughter had cleared Form 4 way before, and they had those books. So, like, my grandmother went to their home and then requested for them to just give me the books, the old books, for me to just register the form 1, and then we can refund them the books, okay? And then after back and forth, they decided to just give me, okay? The aunt decided, oh, you can take the books. So I was given the books, but it's not like they wanted it, and I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. So I was given the books, and then I registered to that day school. So when things are falling out of place with that day school, so I called my friend, and then she agreed to pay for my boarding school and everything. So she asked me for about the books and everything, and then she bought every book. Let me tell you, she bought a whole box, new bed sheets, new everything, enough uniform, enough everything. Like, I went to that boarding school like a kid who was a baller. Let me just say, I had never seen something like that. Okay, so I joined when I was and I went to school in that Nyahururu. Nyahururu is like Nyandaro, Laikipia, someplace there. So when I was joining, I had left now the first term, beginning of second term. That is when I left this day school to the boarding school. And now the books that I was given, they were being demanded to be returned back as fast as, and even those, my aunt and uncle, they were living far from Nanyuki. They were living like in Narok. That's very far, and then they are demanding for the books. And there was no one in school who needed those books, because, like, I don't remember, because the cousin who we were the same class, I think he had his own books, and then these other books, they were just like, they were staying at home, they didn't have, they were not being used, so I was using them. So they were being, she used to send her brother, to come to my grandmother's place to ask for those books. Oh, I've been sent by so and so to get Junita to give us the books back. And then my grandmother would plead, and then I wouldn't give them because I'm still at the orphanage and so on. So I would get the information when the grandmother comes to visit, okay? So when I called and then I was bought the books. Now my friend bought me the books and everything, the Mzungu. And I got I was so happy. So I took every book that was old, and then I took them back. I was the one who took those books to my aunt's place where she comes from, and I gave them back their books. So when I gave them back their books, and they didn't see me loitering in the village, they didn't know about my whereabouts, because my grandmother told me to keep it a secret if I'm leaving the orphanage to a boarding school at a very different area. It's very far. Nyahururu is very far from Nanyuki. Okay, so she just reasoned that we should keep it a secret. Okay, and actually we didn't even want to hurt the priest, because after he told us to go get the books, get my clothes. He called my grandmother and asked her to come pick me, and then he's done with us, like he's done with me. So my grandmother didn't want, like, the director, that priest, to learn that I was going to be sponsored by a friend he had brought to the orphanage. And so when my aunt realized that I was not in the village, I was not being seen anywhere, loitering and everything, and they are not seeing me, they are wondering, where did she go? It's after 1 year of schooling my Form 1 and then my Form 2, I'm very stupid, let me tell you. I called her. I used to have her number off head, because most of the time I still, even if it's a no, I'm not going to get any help, I still had her number, and I used to keep on insisting. And I think I insist a lot, and that is something I'm trying not to be doing. So I used to check out, and I called her when I was in Form 2. And I told her, oh, I went to Nyahururu and I'm schooling in a boarding school, and my holidays I don't spend in Nanyuki, I spend at a friend's or teacher's house. My sponsor is paying for everything, and So she realized I'm not having, like, that family realized I was not having, like, so much work. Yeah? I'm not much of a baggage to them, because if your sponsor is paying for your holiday, you're being given food, like money for food, and then you take to that place where you're going to spend the holiday, 1 month holiday. What can keep you? Like, why wouldn't you want to keep such a person? You of course want to keep such a person. Don't you want money? You want money. So we talked, and then she was nice to me and everything, and she asked me if I wanted to go for the holidays at her place, and I was like, yes. And I used to love television so much, so whenever I used to go to her place or any other place, I used to buy myself Rose Mohando CDs, the musical they're called CDs or something, yeah, the hard disk, yeah. So I used to love Rose Mohando so much, and when I used to go to her place, I used to listen and watch, and I used to enjoy that life, okay? And I used to dance a lot. So that is one way, the one reason as to why I used to keep on pestering people to, keep me. And that is how I ended up in Narok when I was in Form 2 for the holiday. So when I went there, and then I mingled with her sister-in-law, she told me, like, do you know you are... She asked me, are you in school? I told her, yes, I'm here for the holidays, and then I'm going back to school. She told me, like, but your aunt said you are married, like, you are married in a place called Nyahururu, you even have a kid. Huh? I'm married in Nyahururu and I even have a kid. Oh my goodness. So when they realized, these people, when they realized I wasn't anywhere in the village like they had expected me to be, with no school fees and everything, the only thing that came to their mind was marriage. Luckily I wasn't married, I was schooling. So I told her, I explained to the sister-in-law and told her, no, I'm still in school and everything. And then she was like, oh, I don't know if I should put that, but it's not important. But she told me things that were being said when I had not been to terms with the person I was living with in that place. So first off, I went back to school, and then during one of the holidays, I went to Nanyuki to see my grandmother. And then during that time, things were not very nice. And so I thought about going for the holidays at my uncle's place. The other uncle used to live in Nairobi. He still lives in Nairobi. So I thought, if I'm lacking food at my grandmother's place, let me go and search where my uncle lives, because I have an idea, and I used to know that place because my mom, when she used to live with me in Nairobi, we always visited the uncle. So most of those visits, I used to mark the road, I used to mark the petrol station, I used to mark the location, the area, and everything, names and everything. Okay, I was very sharp. So so I decided to tell my grandmother to allow me go look for the other uncle, and then maybe spend the holiday there, because there I won't lack food, and he's not coming for the holidays or sending any help to you. And my grandmother agreed, and so I went there. I went, and then that night when I arrived in Nairobi, I realized that my uncle was living alone. The wife had moved to another area in the outskirts of Nairobi. So I didn't know that the wife was not living in Nairobi anymore. They had done that for her to be taking care of the, the village home, and then my uncle to be staying in Nairobi for work. And then when my aunt decided to come to Nairobi, she can just pop in. So me, when I landed there, my uncle called the wife, and then the wife came the next day, and she asked me, "Where have you been?" I told her I've been to school. "Where?" And then I told her, "In Nyahururu." "Why?" "But we've been told that you went and became, like, you got married to a person in Nyahururu, an old guy in Nyahururu and everything." So I realized this person is telling me the same thing that I was told back in the other holiday. Okay, so she told me, and she told me a lot of stories, and during the story she told me, like, "Oh, I'm very sorry, I had not gotten that part of you, like, you're still studying, I can see your books, you have even come with your books for revision and everything. Let's go, and then we stay at the village." So she took me, and to make matters worse or nice, the juicy part of it is your aunt called even when she heard that you had come to Nairobi. She called me, and then she told me, like, I should chase you out, okay, of my place, and then you return back to your grandmother. I told her, I don't think so. And then this aunt told me, "Yes, do you like to hear?" I told her, "Yeah." And then she took a phone. She put it on a loudspeaker. And then on the other end, it was my aunt. And now they are talking, the in-laws are talking. And then this other one that I'm with, she's telling her, "Oh, I found her here. I found Junita in this place." And then blah, 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 da, da, da. And then the other aunt tells her, "You should chase her out. She should go to her people. We are not her people. Just chase her out. Kick her out. Let her go to her people." So I heard about that whole call, and I was just silent. The phone was on speaker. And when they finished talking, this aunt was going with the story, like, "Yeah, I chased her out. She's not with me. I think she went back to Nanyuki," and so on and so on. And then on the other end, the aunt is very happy that I was kicked out and everything. And she really encouraged her and told her, "Never allow her to your place," and so on. So when she was done with the call, my aunt, this aunt now that I'm living with during this holiday, she looked at me, and then she was like, "I told you." So I had that betrayal part. I didn't, I should have said that maybe they are just talking, but when I heard with my own ears that they didn't want me anywhere, I think that made sense. And it's something I haven't been able to let go. It's something that, it will, if you're human, you will always remember some things. So I continued my studies and everything. At some point, that is where I gave a story about how I wanted to commit suicide. There's a video that is, I had some video about, you can check it out. It's about suicide video. So that is the time that I felt like I was so alone. No family member wanted me. I was feeling so worthless. I didn't have, like, any place to be going. Like anytime I need to go for holidays, the schools are closing down, I used to be stressed because I don't know where I'm going. I don't know. I have to figure out where. I have to talk to my friends and ask them if their moms can allow me to come with them for holidays. And then I can talk to my sponsor and she can pay for them. Okay? She can pay for holiday money and so on. So that is the time that I tried suicide. But I didn't succeed because, yeah, I'm still alive, right? So the other thing was when, like, I noted about something with those kids who have been left so young when they are young, and these people, you who are adults, you don't take them in well, you don't welcome them well, even when you welcome them, they always feel left out. So it's this denial, it's this rejection that causes other people to maybe look for love elsewhere. Because I think most of the better part of my life, if I wasn't living with my grandmother and she loved me, anyone will tell you, like, if I know, everyone will tell you, even I don't know who, they knew that my grandmother used to love me. But this is not what I got outside there. And most of the time I have struggled to identify, like, when I'm at a conflict with identifying who loves me, who is using me, who, when to stop. Because most of the time I've been caught up with being used most of the time. And it's not something you wake up and then you want to be in that particular situation, okay? It's not something you want to be to be experiencing. Sorry. Most of the time I've found myself, even in high school, even in primary school, even at the orphanage, that my grandmother would walk all the way from my place, come to the orphanage, give me some mandazis and some Colgate and some money, maybe 50 bob. And that money I used to give or share with a girl who was bullying me, because I wanted favors, because I wanted her to hang out with me or maybe talk to me. And when the money was gone, there's something I came to realize when I'm very old, I think. Because when the money was gone, this bully used to continue. She used even to fight me. And there is nothing bad as being in an orphanage where you are being bullied and you can't talk about it. Why? Because the person you're going to report has some powers, or maybe they're getting favored for whatever reasons, So I used to share everything with this girl, and then when it was over, I used to be left, and then she would start with the bullying. She would start indirectly abusing me, indirectly doing things to me, those threats and everything. And let me tell you, girls can be bullies. They're not good. Schools can have bullies, and it's very wrong. Because I remember one of my triggers when I was almost committing suicide. When I tried suicide when I was in school, I had that trigger. I was waiting for a trigger, and that trigger was from a girl who was in Form 3. And she was bullying me. Every time when I'm going to the bathroom, maybe I'm carrying a bucket and I'm so thin. And she used to talk some really heavy stuff. And then this one time that I realized that I should wait for her to come and trigger me so that I can take the poison and then end it all. I used to go to my aunt who said on the phone that I don't belong to them. I still would go to her place, okay, during the holidays, and money would be paid for me, would be given to me through a phone that my sponsor had bought and given to me. And that money, I used to take all of it to her. Like the first time I arrived with my 10,000. I give her all the 10,000. Why? Because I want to look like some type of a hero or some good, I don't know what I don't know. I used to give my aunt all the money. Not even my uncle who is like the brother to my mom. I used to give my aunt so that she can allow me next holiday I can be back here and watch a lot of music and Rose Muhando and everything. I used to go to high school and fighting up with things and people, and I'm here bribing others. Come here, come. I'm bribing other people to just be friends with me, which was not working well with me, Hey, puss, wait, okay? So I used to struggle a lot. I used to bribe people. And it's not like I'm telling them it's bribing. I realized I have a problem when I was very old. When I have been used very nicely. Very nicely. Not even with ladies only. Even with men. Even with the guys. Like I'm friends with you and then I get some money and I don't know where other monies will come from, or I should just go and help my grandmother out with that money. I give out there was a time I was sent money by my sponsor when she went back to the US, and I remember I gave a guy like 5,000, and I'm just like, wait, yo. Now I sit around my house and then I'm like, yo, was I under spell or something? Why would I? And then there's another thing. There's also like when I cleared Form 4 and I was back struggling. I was done with the computer studies and so on. And now my aunt couldn't keep me again, because it was either I have gone for the holidays, I have given out the money, and when it's done, they start showing me like those mood swings, attitude that tells you you're not wanted there, you need to go. Hey, puss, stop it. Stop. Those mood swings that tells you, oh, you should go. So I used now to go back to my sponsor, and I thank God that this lady was pushing through, even when she knew that I have given you this amount, things have not worked with the place you are staying at, you need to go to find another maybe a friend, you can live with them for the holiday, because I'm not in Kenya or something. When she was in Kenya, she used to live with me, and we would live I would live like a daughter of somebody, We would go to 5-star hotels, we would live in very good places. I had experienced that, the good part of life and also the bad part when I was young, And I noted something about my giving. My giving is not controlled, and that is where I have mostly gone wrong with that kind of giving. So with this topic of when we always talk about the dad's side, your dad's side or my dad's side, not caring about where I am, how I'm doing, or whatever I'm doing, and we say all those bad things, we'd forget or we never talk about the mom's side, which is full of snake bites, which is full of, they want to destroy your name. They want to talk to people about, I don't know this, I don't know this. And one of those things I remember, even when I thank God that sometimes my sponsor would realize that shit is not happening, it's not going the right way, because there's this one time she wanted to fly out, and we were living with my friend, another friend, and me, and she wanted me to, we were coming from Nyanza through Narok, and then she wanted me to talk to the aunt, and then maybe we spend the night, me and my friend, to spend the night in Narok, and then the next day we would go to this friend's house and stay through the holiday, okay, because her mom's place was Nakuru. So when we were coming through with the tourist vehicle, I called my aunt. Now my sponsor was there and some other people, those vehicles for tour guides and so on. So they are there, they are listening. So I called her and then I asked her, can I drop by? I'm coming with my sponsor, and then she's going to Nairobi, to the airport, and she's flying out, and she didn't want to take us to Nairobi. Maybe we can come to your place and then we sleep. Tomorrow we'll go. And she was like, before I had given that explanation, she had, oh yes, we are okay, we're just working, but when I gave that explanation, she just told me like, we are on our way to Nyahururu, so we are not anywhere close to Narok. So I thank God that those times that, these people were really disappointing me, some of those times, somebody would give a testimony about it, because that night we spent at Nairobi, my sponsor had to pay for our room, a deluxe, I guess, for us. And then the next day she had to ask a person who knew Nairobi well to take us to matatus to Nakuru, and that is how the holiday was over. So you can imagine, this is a kid who's been left with no dad, with no mother, no figures that is constant in her life. And most of these people whom she is seeing or she's living with, they're not even wishing her well. They don't want the best of her. Most of the times I used to hear, most of the time, that I wouldn't even finish Form 4. It started with class 8. Some thought I wouldn't even get to class 8. And when I got to class 8, before the results, they said, oh, she can't even, maybe 190 marks, she can't go beyond 250. So I surprised them. I got 316, whereby they were like shocked. And then I went to high school, and they thought, and they said that I wouldn't get through high school without having a baby or dropping out because of pregnancy. And I overcame that. And then they waited for the results because they were expecting a D+ or a D-. And this is something that I was being reminded, like I was being told even by the cousin, oh, you, even when you don't get good scores, like if you score a D+ or anything, you just be okay. You can just learn some few courses here and there, and then you'll be fine. So when I got like a B-, I got a B- of 55 points. That was also like, what? And then they were like, oh, we are waiting. So most of these times, this side of my mom, they have never like ever shown me genuine love. They have never stood by me genuinely. They only come when it's necessary for them, when they think that I have hit a jackpot. When I told them like my scholarship had ended and everything, no one even called me to ask me where I'm doing, how I'm doing, or what. Most of the times I used to get calls when my sponsor is in good terms with me, and they didn't want to call me to say hi to me, because at the end of the calls they are like, oh, how is your mzungu? She's still in Kenya or she's in America? Oh, it's okay. You're still talking with her? Is she sending you money? Oh, it's okay. And then the call would end. So I don't think there is any day anyone from my family ever, be it who, has ever loved me genuinely. It's because of what I was able, or what I would bring to them, that would make them like me. And that is what I would say about my mom's side. So even now when they are telling me like, oh, you know what, and the aunt calls me and tells me like, you know, we are sharing the land, oh, because blah 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 blah, and they think that I'm gonna go there and fight about a farm that I found, that I was born there. Why would an aunt talk to me about a farm when she's not my mom's sister? I think it would have been better for me to get a call from the uncle who was given the mandate to share, you know, the property, and tell me like, you know, this and this is going to happen, and this and blah blah blah. And yeah, but now when somebody is coming and calling me, somebody doesn't know how I'm feeding myself, somebody doesn't know about how I'm surviving, and you're calling me about a farm. Wake up, stay woke, because once in a while, once in I don't know how many times, but for orphans, for people who have been left by their parents, who have brought themselves up, and they have gone through all the mud, they have supported themselves, they have gone, I don't know, miles and miles and miles. Because let me tell you, most of the times I stay up, I don't have like anyone to call, I don't have like anywhere to go for Christmas. And it's not like, sometimes I want to assume that it doesn't bother me, but it does. It does hurt me that I can't go somewhere and call this my home. Why? Because people are selfish. Even when you go, you're going to be shown like you don't belong there. So I don't want to go to a place whereby I heard people talk that I don't belong there on a phone. I don't want to go to a place where people are going to treat me like I'm worthless. I better remain in this Nairobi. I better remain in this single room for the rest of until the day that God sees it's best. And that is what is keeping me with the reason as to why I'm posting these videos is not because like I've made it in life. Most of the times we want to post these videos when we have made it in life and challenge those people that didn't expect that you would come out of nothing and be somebody's. Okay, me, I want to put it there for my son, and to see my progress, to to keep this into books because I don't want my son to grow up and be lied to. I don't want a position whereby my son has to come and then be lied to, because I was lied to. I was lied to. I was lied to about my mom. I was told that she got pregnant when she was 17, and then she got pregnant with my dad, and my dad was like 15. Like, you know, the picture that this person was trying to show me. Just the other day, this year, is when I came to realize that, and it really, really hurt me, that my mom was 14 when she got pregnant with me. 14. She got pregnant when she was 14. And all through I was being lied to, like, oh, you know, your mom was used to city life, a person who is 14 living in the village, and she gave birth to me when she was 15 because I was born in January. So you can imagine, this is a person who might maybe had died during those times when you're giving birth, you know, complications and so on. You're so young to even carry a baby, but they still have like that, judgmental, you know, they want to show you your mom is not a good person. And let me tell you one thing, a person who talks ill about your mom, even when you're living with them, because this is what I used to be told. These are things I used to be told about my mom. She was a bad person. She couldn't, you know, a person who doesn't like your mother is not your friend, doesn't like you. And it's true, because even those times that I had that call, this is basically a person who doesn't like me at all. But I'm being blinded by how much they are smiling, how much I'm calling and then they are laughing. And I'm blinded by that. Why? Because I want to be loved. I am craving to have ownership. I want to be seen as a person who, you know, I can have my own people. Let me tell you, like in high school, the only time I got visited is when I had thought I had a talent, and that is the time they came, because they thought I had won some money in school. And it's not bad. That is that. The other times, I used to have friends in school who were visited, and they would share their food with me. So I didn't know better. Just like my mother, she was so young, 14, you don't know better in life. And especially if you're living in the village, because she was living in the village, you don't know better. 14, anyone who wants to judge you because you're getting pregnant when you're 14, just 1 year into teenage life, and you're getting pregnant and you want to judge that person, you don't know better. Any other choice she might have done those choices because she had to. And I'm grateful she didn't make a choice of killing me when we were in Nairobi. It's just by the grace. She survived. And even when, and I can tell you, if any time that any family member would ever watch this, I'm gonna tell you, even if mom had died, and she died because of AIDS or HIV and AIDS, I'm proud of her. She didn't know better, and I'm not one to judge her, and you're not the one to judge her. She lived her life, and I'm proud she's my mother. Any other thing besides that, any other issue besides that, that is, we leave it there. You just know I'm very proud of my mother. With her HIV and everything, with her getting pregnant when she is so young, I'm proud of her. At least I didn't get pregnant when I was 14. Must have been I'm not saying like I did good getting pregnant when I was 24, but really that was something. So other people who are watching this and you feel like you have been through it, just know it's not you alone. It's like you're not the only one who has gone through turmoils, through rejection, through backbitings, and you're trying to get up and somebody is just taking out the knife and plucking onto your skin and just beating you down. Nowadays I just sit around and then I say, oh, I better stay far, very far away, that I don't exist in your horizon. I don't exist. I don't want to exist. I don't want to. And that has saved me a lot, because nowadays I'm not getting that usage. Like, people are not using me. I have identified my problem and I'm dealing with it. Right now you will come and then you want something from me and I have to weigh. One thing I have been able to do is, you ask me for something, I will tell you, like, I will think about it. Or I just read what you have said and then I take back and then I think about it, and then if I see that I'm going to fall into another trap, or I'm going to feel bad if at some point you will ever turn back and then bite me, I'm not going to do it. I just tell you it won't be possible this time, and I'm finding a lot of peace with it. And let me tell you, when you start making those changes, just know that you won't have a lot of friends, and that is one step. So I am clapping for me, because I have been able to identify that being a people pleaser is a very dangerous disease. It will eat you, it will eat you and leave you with nothing. So my people, I think I've talked a lot. It's almost 1 hour. And I think you will ponder on those things we've talked about, and leave a comment, subscribe, and give me thumbs up, okay, so that I can continue having the same morale to continue giving you stories and more, and about interactions here and there. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope it's not that boring. Yeah, see you in the next one, okay?